Broadcasting live from the moon and back, this is The Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs, capturing the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here are your co-hosts, financial and crypto experts Yuri Cataldo and Steve Good.
Tell us what you do and our audience.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. Hi, Ott Velsberg. I'm the Chief Data Officer of Estonian Government. I oversee data governance and data science from the government perspective. That includes areas such as AI, open data.
Yeah.
From the data governance side, when we are talking about data quality, metadata, semantics, and so on. So it's really broad. Sometimes also different initiatives related to education. So last year started data science master's degree program.
Yeah.
Authorization service, giving people access to their own data. So different bits throughout that's relevant for the government.
How interesting.
Yeah. How long have you been working for the Estonian government?
So I'm the first chief data officer, and I started last year in August. So
okay.
I'm getting to 1 year now. So a short time, but still being in a public sector, it's been an interesting ride so far.
Yeah, I bet. So you're only part of the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Do they have other data scientists or similar types of roles looking at data across Estonian government?
So what we right now try to do is that we try to introduce these chief data officers in other ministries as well.
Right.
So I look at the government from centrally, but we actually don't have that many this type of persons. Actually, don't have any of them in other ministries. What we are closest to achieving is introducing data stewards as a role in different ministries and also in different departments.
Right.
But we hope it's also under our AI strategy and initiative that there should be chief data officers also present, and we can see that there is a huge need for this role.
So what is the overall strategy or goal that Estonia has when they're starting to look at data? Is it because of the shift? Is it because of the residency program in particular, or is it as a national level concern? I mean, what's driving the need to kind of have a better understanding of data utility or data use management?
Yeah. So as you know, Estonia is quite digital. But we found out also that regardless of our high level of data and so on, we don't actually have that level of competence throughout different ministries, departments. Also, sometimes we are not aware of the data we have actually collected. So our now strategy is to turn Statistics Estonia, so National Statistics Agency, to a data agency responsible for everything related to data. So they would take over the role of governance. And we already passed a law in the end of February. So the government gave them this authority. Now we are in a transposition whereby they should take a more leading role. And we are at the moment kind of focusing on data description side, so understanding actually what data is collected, so metadata we are talking, and also data quality. It's a problem. We have a messed data, but this kind of hygiene is not always there.
Right. How much of what you guys are looking at in terms of data is also involving looking at blockchain and data privacy?
So when we are looking at blockchain, is not really kind of right now extremely relevant when we talk about data. Where it comes to existence is really about when we give citizens access to their own data. So this is something that we have discussed. So how to have this kind of valid way to understand when someone has access to data, how data changes, and so on. So this is the closest thing we have considered, and too early to talk in kind of definite manner, but this is something.
Sure. Well, it's more than I could say most countries are aware of.
Yeah.
You know.
But as you know, in some information systems, we already use blockchain or KIC as well.
Right.
Okay. Can you talk about that? I wasn't aware of that. So where are you using blockchain inside of Estonia?
So Estonia is using mostly, as you know, we have electronic signing and so on. So that's the main focus right now.
Yeah.
From the data side, we are considering when citizens basically give authorization for some other private company to access their data.
Yeah.
So validate and also see how the data lifecycle.
Oh, that's very cool. No, I mean, I know that for some people that want to register companies in Estonia, they can pay with Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
So that's already a progression forward from, let's call it the mainstream, where you have to pay in local currency. At least you've got a global currency that you're using. Interesting. Have you been in touch with any of the people within the Estonian government that have also talked about launching the Est coin? I know that's been a topic of conversation that's been in the press off and on. I'm just curious if that's something you've come across.
Yeah. So the Est coin, I myself haven't been in talks with this particular aspect. There are right now no plans to launch Est coin. What we haven't considered is the idea of giving the citizens just a way of kind of contributing their ideas where the government should invest. So whether it be an Est coin or something else, it's more of getting citizens to be more involved in government decisions. So if you want for that road to have an 8-road highway, then you can kind of chip in with your
the biggest highway on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do that. Or if you want to invest your kind of citizen coins or Est coins, however we name them, then you can do that. And you would get them by being active, contributing back, taking part, let's say, through elections and so on. So by being active citizen, you would amass those, let's say, coins. But this is just, again, a really idea part.
Yeah.
Whether something like that will ever take place or happen, it's up to debate. Right now, we already do have this kind of a citizen involvement, but this happens in other parts of the world as well, whereby citizens can vote what are the most crucial aspects.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they call that Survey Monkey.
Let's call it Survey Monkey.
I'm only joking.
Absolutely.
So because your Estonia is so digitized, how has that process been for, let's say, the average citizen? Because you're collecting so much. You gave a presentation at Toronto AI about all the amazing things you guys are working on, but how has the rest of the citizens of Estonia been brought up to speed on that and educated on the fact that their data is being used for good versus like evil in the broadest term?
Yeah. So our digital journey in that sense didn't start right now. So it started almost 20 years ago, or even more. So back then there was this kind of initiative called Tiger Jump, and we introduced the kind of computing and how to use computers to everyone, from small villages to cities and so on. So it's a longer way, and it's a process.
Sure.
we try to be as transparent as possible about everything that happens. So we had, for example, ID crisis last year. So if that took place, again, being transparent, that's the case. These are the kind of the possibilities that could go wrong and so on. So it's really about communicating. It's true that so many people are, we are living in a digital fair, but we are becoming comfortable with it. We don't feel that the government itself is as digital as it is, and it sometimes it feels more kind of more innovative for outside than citizens here in Estonia. Like, I guess this is really true because everyone are kind of used to that, and we can see the same thing. Like a few months ago, there was a piece in Wired talking about AI judge, which really blew up internationally. In Estonia, right. It didn't get any media presence at all. So it kind of gives this kind of level. People are like, yeah, that's awesome that you are doing something like that or thinking about something like that, but no one really pays that much attention,
right,
or that much concern.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think the plans are when it comes to AI and how it would be applied or used in the context of, a government implementation of it as a tool? There's a lot of people out there like, Elon Musk, for example, or Bill Gates, that have to be very careful how we apply and use AI because it could be damaging to us if you look at it from a wide perspective. But I suppose from a light data management perspective or data using perspective, what is it that you've been trying to achieve using AI?
Yeah, so we always have told that we try to make the government, actually AI is just a technology. Our bigger idea is to make the government seamless. The service is proactive for the citizens. So that's one of the aims we try to do with AI. We already have this live event services design thinking, and services are made automatic. So I'm going to give an example. When a child is born, you no longer would need to register them. You would get automatically a child benefit and so on. They would be registered to the kindergarten and so forth. They're actually behind many, many different services. But this example, what I gave you here, actually doesn't require any AI. So in terms of AI, machine learning, we are actually thinking about things that are not so kind of rule-based. So I'm giving a random example. So if the government sees that you're currently employed at this precise job, and there is a 80% chance that this company will go bankrupt, should we tell the citizen or give a heads up? Or if we see that you're currently working at the job that is like 100% in 10 years' time going to be obsolete, should we jump in and provide you kind of retraining or so on? So we are thinking about this idea, and we are actually really close to finalizing this kind of initial 4 or 5 projects that we actually try to automate, and hopefully within few weeks' time we can be more sure about which 5 more projects will be automated.
Yeah.
But that's just a rough idea. So to make the government really seamless. The second thing is just related to our population. It's aging. We have less and less people in Estonia. So there's 1.3 million right now, and our industry output is actually one of the lowest in Europe. So we try to raise that one as well. And the government role.
Yeah.
And just final thing. And the government role is actually to be kind of pave the way, basically. We see that we are with Saudi Arabia and Arab Emirates and Italy from Europe. We are the few countries where public sector is actually thriving the uptake of AI.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask you was how much of, sorry, you're exhausted.